Yeah, welcome again to Model 1, Lesson 2. In our previous lesson, we looked at our call, the call into media ministry. The call into media ministry. In Model 1, we realized that we weren't called for applause. And we also looked at the urgency of getting into the media space and reaching out to bringing more souls into God's kingdom. And this comes to play when you have realized your skill, your ability to communicate the message God has called you to communicate to your specific audience. In today's lesson, we're going to look at a purpose-driven content creator. The purpose-driven content creator. And we are going to look specifically at your why of creating content on social media, or specifically on YouTube. Earlier on in lesson 1, I explained by sharing my personal life story. And I didn't start out as a person with clarity on the kind of message I would give to my audience. And it was a struggle, but with gradual practice and linking everything to why I am on the platform. Asking God, why are you calling me into the media space? So therefore, in our lesson 2 of Model 1, we're looking at a purpose-driven content creator. Shall we look at Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. And I'm reading from the NIV version, which says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sent you." Or, before you were born, I set you apart. And setting you apart, the Bible is talking about purpose, being set apart for a specific assignment. Now, when you are on this platform, take note that many have gone ahead of you. Many have gone ahead of me, myself, bringing you these lessons. And you aren't coming to repeat what exactly others have started. You learn from what they have started with, then you move on with their knowledge and the reason why God has placed you on the platform. As you continue to practice, as you continue to listen to God's word and meditate on his word and asking him every day what specific you want to give, specific message you want to give to your audience, you gain clarity. One point I would want us to look at today is that your purpose precedes your platform. Once again, your purpose precedes your platform. What do I mean by your purpose precedes your platform? Many content creators start with camera and a concept. And that's not bad. But in fact, as a Christian content creator with the kingdom agenda in mind, God's kingdom agenda in mind, purpose-driven content creation means content flows from a deeper sense of purpose. God never wastes creativity. If he gave you a skill, it has a place, a major role to play in his plan. Don't forget that. Don't let the pressure of algorithm of these various platforms overshadow the clarity of your assignment. That you want to follow trends. By the time you realize, you've lost your message. And I'm talking from these few years I've spent on these platforms, that if you would want to follow some trends and without listening and hearing and having that intimacy relationship with God, what is He saying at this point in time, and you try to follow trends, you're going to miss the message God has given you in that season. So we shouldn't let the pressure of the algorithm or the trends try to follow. You would miss the message. In fact, purpose silences comparison. Once you know your why and your call and the message you have been given, or you have gradually gathered and you are gaining clarity in, you will refuse to compare yourself with other content creators. You know, your message has its specific audience, and the audience are waiting for you to be clear with your message. For instance, on my channel, I specifically make videos on end time concepts, end time events, end time prophecies, and these are being put in cinematic formats, views, movies, inspirational stories, messages, inspirational quotes, but are directed to end time concepts of the Bible. So you have to be specific on what exactly God has called you to deliver to your audience. That's very important. As I said earlier on, purpose silences comparison. When you know what you are called to create, you won't be distracted by what others are doing. That's very important. Now, this is why purpose is more important than popularity. And you refusing to follow the trend and try to compare yourself, and therefore, and thereby missing your message. Purpose is more important than popularity. Many creators generally are chasing visibility, but visibility without vision leads to burnout. And I've experienced such moments many times, that what you are creating, you don't feel the joy, don't have the joy of creating them again. Yeah. But this is what we are looking at, that your content creation must be purpose-driven, linked and connected to why God has called you onto this platform. When you're rooted in purpose, you are not moved by likes, comments, but you are moved by what is being released from God's word, the light to the people. So I would want you to look at these few questions. Ask yourself and answer them in your notepad. The first question is, what message burns in your heart? What message burns in your heart that you feel God is leading you to refine and prepare for your audience? The next question, who am I called to reach? Who am I called to reach? Who am I called to reach? The third question, what platform has God placed in my hands right now? If it is YouTube, yes, you need to work at it. And it doesn't mean you should be perfect with the perfect tools before you get started. Yes, you need to improve and gradually increase your momentum and your quality of production. So these 3 questions, ponder over them. What message burns in your heart? Who am I called to reach? And the last one, what platform has God placed in my hands? Ponder over these things, your purpose, why you have been called to release the message, and then meet me in the next lesson.